Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having Aquarius on the second house cusp in a natal chart. Now, the second house governs monetary things, resources, income generated, possessions, tangible assets, values, material items, self-esteem, and self-worth. Now, the sign on the cusp of the house in some instances may indicate the profession or job the person has. This second house represents the way one may generate money, and it can also show the manner in which this is done. Now, the sign on the cusp of any house is going to give characteristics to that house. So anyway, people, having Aquarius on the cusp of the second house, well, the person, as far as the characteristics may go, even with a conservative Capricorn rising, which would be the case in many instances, the person may bring somewhat of eccentric or unique quality to whatever they're doing in terms of generating their money. There might even be a little bit of the rebel in them. This might be a person that might have some financial fluctuations and the income may not be stable. Perhaps they make money, as an example, going door to door, something even with stocks, something that would be kind of sporadic, that might not always be consistent or flowing. This is not to say that the person that has this wouldn't necessarily have a 40-hour week, not 9-to-5 position. But in a lot of instances, this person might have something where the income is just not steady and consistent. Now, this person may also show a lot of humanitarian qualities and selflessness in whatever way they're generating money. This person may find work or generate income perhaps through innovation, computers or electronics, aeronautics, something with science and technology, information technology. I have a friend that his sun sign is Capricorn, and in a solar chart he very likely would have had Aquarius on his second house cusp, and he told me he had worked in some kind of computer field or information technology. So I look at this, and this could also be a position where somebody works maybe somehow within their community, and they're involved in some community group, and they may make money somehow in this manner. Perhaps friends and or acquaintances can be advantageous and beneficial to the way this person generates money. The friends this person has can play an integral role in the person's self-esteem and self-worth. It could also be that having making money in a way where they feel is unique and is different, maybe even unorthodox, could play a role in how they feel about themselves, being a little bit of that maverick, maybe to some degree, not always going with the flow. This person may put a lot of value in being progressive and not being complacent in terms of the mind, and as far as I guess we could say being mentally stagnant, always searching perhaps for new ideas, maybe new ways of making money. Values may include just putting things as far as innovations can play a strong role in this person. Value system, being progressive, being always thinking more of the future, and being involved with new things, new technology, new products. This person's possessions might be somewhat unusual. Maybe this person keeps up with, has a lot of computer electronics type possessions, perhaps innovations. Well, I say something unusual. I'm sure many of you have seen that commercial with the robotic dog that gets electrocuted when he takes a drink of water. Maybe a household robot, maybe a gravity light that generates light without using electricity. those are some things, but of course I'm being facetious, but you get the idea. And this could be perhaps a person that somehow brings their philanthropic qualities into what they do in terms of generating their money. Possessions and their income can be somewhat erratic and sporadic, but perhaps the way that the possessions work may be the same thing. Maybe this person is very transient, moves around a lot, maybe doesn't really put much strong value on their possessions. As far as their values go, once again, perhaps they put a lot of value on their having a rapport, compatibility with their friends, with acquaintances. That is something else to consider with having Aquarius on the second house cusp in a natal chart. So these are some things to look at if you have Aquarius on the cusp of the second house. And even if this person works in some kind of field that would be considered mundane or menial, they may bring their own kind of unique quality to it somehow, and do kind of things in their own manner, in their own ways. So those are some things to consider when someone has the zodiac sign Aquarius on the second house cusp in a natal chart. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Aquarius on the second house cusp in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having Pisces on the second house cusp in a natal horoscope. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.